Hello and welcome to today's webinar, The Combined Power of BIM 360 Model Coordination and Navisworks. This webinar is brought to you by Applied Software. My name is Caitlin Dunn and I'm pleased to be your moderator today. We encourage you to take advantage of our fully customizable webinar console by clicking on the icons at the bottom of your screen. You can resize any of these widgets during the presentation. We'll take time to answer questions at the end. This is being recorded for your convenience. You'll be receiving an email with the recording link for future reference. Find Applied Software on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to make meaningful connections, receive special offers, and stay up to date on the newest innovations. And be sure to visit our website, ASTI.com, to see how to achieve your design and business objectives through our innovative solutions, training options, and services. You can also find a complete schedule of upcoming events, webinars, and training on our calendar at ASTI.com/calendar. I am pleased to introduce Michael Reuter. Michael is a Senior Application Specialist for Applied Software. He helps implement, train, set metrics, and follow up with BIM implementation for construction clients to ensure the success of implementation. Thank you for joining us today, Michael. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Caitlin. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about model coordination inside of BIM 360. Okay. So we're going to talk about 5 different workflows. We're going to kind of try to figure out which ones, or I'll try to help you guys figure out which ones you might want to use. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to identify the problem. So for some reason, it looks like my slide's kind of going haywire there, but basically what we're doing here is, like I said, identifying the problem. So the problem that I see a bunch of our customers having is that, you know, more and more the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing firms are being tasked with leading coordination, not just participating in it. Maybe they're doing that because they're being forced to, but most likely it's because they're looking to take on that responsibility and earn more money. And so, you know, because they're looking to jump into that, you know, they're kind of trying to figure out what the best workflow is. Okay, and so. You know, you're already modeling your stuff, but now you need to coordinate the whole project, you know, and so you need to make that part of your everyday workflow. And you've probably, like I said, you participated in BIM coordination, but you've never led it before in many cases. And so there's all kinds of workflows out there. So what, you know, what's the best one for you? Okay, so when you're trying to figure out what workflow you might want to use for BIM 360, or sorry, for BIM coordination, I should say, I think there's 4 good things that you need to think about. Okay, so the first one is, you know, have you used Navisworks before? Do you like it? And if so, do you want to keep it? You know, so if you've used Navisworks in the past and you like it and you trust it, you know, that's probably going to help you decide what solution you might want to use. Okay. Maybe you're more concerned with just simplicity. You want to keep things simple for everybody on the team. You don't want to have something that has 1,000 buttons on it like Navisworks does. You just want a couple. And you want things to be done for you. You want it to be as simple as possible, okay? Maybe you're a design build studio, so or a Revit shop, you know, and maybe you want a round trip solution that's going to bring your clash info back into your model, okay? Or do you just want a single solution for BIM coordination, for document management, for issue tracking, for whatever else you may be doing? Are you looking for something where everything's all in one place? Okay, so those are some of the things that you need to think about. Okay, there's a solution for one or a combination of all of these. Okay, So we're going to go through 5 workflows here that people typically use. We'll discuss the positives and the negatives of them. And then once I've got that done, I'll show off the newest workflow, which is BIM 360 with Navisworks and BIM 360 model coordination with Navisworks. Okay. So the first workflow is the most tried and true. It's the one that's been around probably for 15, 20 years. It's definitely been around. It's actually what I used when I was a BIM coordinator, mostly because BIM 360 was not a thing when I was doing just BIM coordination, but it's Navisworks Manage. I would say that Navisworks is the industry standard for clash coordination. I would say that everybody uses it, or not everybody, I would say that the majority of customers use Navisworks to perform BIM coordination on a day-to-day basis, in some way, shape, or form. They may be using just Navisworks, or they may be using it with some other solution, but it is definitely the most widely used workflow. Okay. So the benefits of it are obviously it's the industry standard, so that's what everybody uses. That's what everybody's used to. It's robust and it's extremely powerful, extremely customizable. It has a bunch of add-ins that you can use that can improve it. It's tried and true. The one problem that it has, if you're using just a Navisworks centric workflow, is that it's not connected to the cloud. So you're not getting, the rest of your team is not getting live information at the snap of a finger. You have to actually compile that and then send it out. And then oppositely, if you're the BIM coordinator, you have to download that information and then work on it. It's not automatic. Okay, so the second workflow is Navisworks plus Glue. Okay, so this is another tried and true method. Basically, the way that it works, you upload your models to BIM 360 Glue. You create a merged model in BIM 360 Glue, and then you can access those models through Navisworks, and you can still utilize your Navisworks workflow. I would say that this is this is probably the second most popular workflow right now. The reason that people like it is because it basically gives Navisworks cloud connectivity, so that whenever anybody updates any model at any time, everybody has access to that. So it kind of empowers the rest of your team to to view and review the most recent data. Okay, so next is I guess, yeah, like I said, that and what people also like about that is that the only thing that changes with the Navisworks and Glue model is you get to keep your workflow. So if you use search sets, if you do clash a certain way, if you manage issues a certain way, you can still do that, with your Navisworks workflow. But what this improves on is definitely file management. Okay, so next is the third workflow is just BIM 360 all to its own, or BIM 360 Glue all by itself. Okay, so the benefits of it is that it's easy to use, it's easy to set up. You can upload your models to Glue, and then it's a live model. Okay. What's also cool about it is it has a clash pinpoint tool, which basically allows you to kind of round trip your clashes from BIM 360 back to your design model if you're using Revit or AutoCAD. So that's helpful because before you would just be looking at a viewpoint, but in this instance, you could actually click the object that was in question, and then you can revise that directly in Revit. Okay. The other thing that's kind of great about BIM 360 Glue is that it provides models. It was the first workflow that provided models to the field, so you could actually view and review your models in the field. Okay, so the last two workflows that we're going to take a look at are is model coordination. or revolve around model coordination, I guess I should say. So the first one is just by utilizing the model coordination tool. Okay, so this is definitely one of the two newest workflows that are out there. I would say that model coordination is really great for Revit-centric teams. By no means does everybody on your team have to be a Revit user, but I think that it's best for it works best for that, just because of all the bells and whistles with it. So it's very early design friendly. So for your architects and your engineers out there, it's really friendly for you guys. Also for our Evolve MEP customers, it's going to be really friendly for you because you guys are already jumping into Revit. So basically it's going to be really Revit friendly for you. If you still want to use Navisworks, you can definitely still use it. I'll show that off in my demonstration. Basically, all you have to do is you just set up publish settings in your model, and then you set up a coordination space in BIM 360, and then BIM 360 model coordination automatically clashes all of the models, for you that are in that folder. So it's nice because what you give up in control with Navisworks, you gain through with automation in BIM 360. So if that's something that you're interested in, then this can kind of help with that. And then just like BIM 360 Glue, it now has a round trip issue workflow. So basically, you can find the issue, whether that's in model coordination or that's in Navisworks or some combination of the two, and then you document that issue, assign it to somebody, and then when they open their model, they can actually see those issues that are assigned to them. It places a little push pin essentially in the model so that they can see exactly where it is, and then they can click on it, review it, and then they can revise the problem. Okay, so then the final workflow is Navisworks plus BIM 360. Okay, and so what this does is it allows you to leverage BIM 360. So this is for customers that maybe don't have model coordination, but basically you can leverage BIM 360, and it's kind of similar to Glue, but basically what you would do is you would upload your NWC files to BIM 360, and then it's going to allow you to view those file like a live model file, from BIM 360. Everybody just uploads from there, and then you open up Navisworks. You append all of those BIM 360 models, and then you can start working and performing clash like normal inside of Navisworks. Okay, then what you would basically do, you'd save your NWF file up into BIM 360, then you'd save your NWD file, and then everybody would be able to look at and review all of the clashes. Okay, the other thing that's nice about this, also just like the model coordination tool, is that you also get models to the field there, so you can view and review your models in the field. So those are the 5 workflows. I'm probably going to go over 2, maybe 1.5 of them. I'll briefly go over. So basically, what we're gonna look at are the model coordination tool, and then we're gonna look at Navisworks with the new BIM 360. Okay, those are the 2 things that we're going to look at. So I'll stop showing off my screen here, or I'll start showing off my screen here, I guess I should say.
I'll let you know when I can see it.
Okay, and so we've got that going right here. There we go. I think it's
good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, great. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go into BIM 360. Okay, so I'm going to set up my coordination space. Okay, so basically what I'm doing right here is I'm in Project Admin of BIM 360. I'm going to click on I've already clicked on the Model Coordination tab, and then basically what I've already done is I hit Create, and then I created this coordination space. And so basically what the whole reason for doing that, basically what you're doing is you're telling BIM 360 that, hey, this folder that I've designated right here, I want you to perform clash detection, live clash detection on those files at all times. Okay, and so basically, what I did was I told BIM 360 to do this design coordination folder right here. And so you can see I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models in there. So basically, I'm asking BIM 360 to clash all 6 of these models against one another inside of BIM 360. Okay, and so you'll notice these are Revit models. These are not NWC files. These are actual Revit models. So like I said before, when we were discussing this is a very Revit-centric, friendly workflow. Okay, so if everybody on the project is using Revit, then they're going to kind of be ahead of everybody else that's not. Okay, and again, by no means does that mean that you can't have a non-Revit file. You could drop an IFC file in here. You could drop a CAD drawing in here. You could drop an Inventor file in here. You could drop whatever model file you need. You could drop that in here, and then BIM 360 is going to clash those files here. But if it's Revit centric, then the workflow is going to be the best. Okay, it's not going to, again, the other people are not going to be able to not view anything, or it's not going to affect those people. It's just going to be even better for a Revit user. Okay, so you put your models in there. That's where everybody would upload them. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so right here I've got my piping model. And so you can see I've got 3 3D views here. I've got a hot water, cold water, I've got a sanitary, and then I've got a storm drain view, okay? And so what I want to do is I want to upload all of this to BIM 360. So the way that I do that is I come to the Collaborate tool, and then I'm going to choose Publish Settings. And so from there, you can see I've got a set. I would create a set. I've already done that, but I've named it Coordination. And then what I did was I went and I looked through all of my sheets and all of my views in the model, and I chose just those 3 views that I wanted to publish. Now I could pick and choose all the floor plans as well. I could choose whatever I wanted to publish up here, but since I'm doing coordination, really all that I need to publish are my 3D views. Okay, so if you were doing this on a multi-level project, it might make sense, for you just to publish whatever level you were working on at that time, or whatever levels you were working on. So if it was a 10-story building, maybe you were working on levels 5, 6, and 7, you would just find those 3D views and upload them. Okay. You can change this set at any time. So if I wanted to uncheck sanitary, then basically that wouldn't upload up there. But basically I set that up, I hit save and close, and then basically that's going to customize your model. So whenever you publish your model, that's the data that everybody else is going to be able to see. That's the data that BIM 360 is going to run Clash on. Okay, so you want to set that up first every time. So then you just hit Synchronize Model. That would upload the model to BIM 360, and then you'd hit Manage Cloud Models, and you would actually upload that model to BIM 360. So usually this takes a second. Sorry about that, but I won't actually show that off because it's going to take a second for it to kind of load up, because I'm part of probably like several hundred projects. So, okay, good. It didn't take as long as I thought it was going to do. But I'll pick this MEP Force 2021, and then I can actually choose to upload my model into there. Okay, and so I picked that, and so now I can see. It's kind of checking to see which ones are new. So I can see I did this yesterday for a customer. So I actually published all these models yesterday, or maybe not yesterday, but earlier this week. And maybe some of them were last week. But basically you can see if there's a green check mark, then it's already published. I haven't updated it lately. But otherwise I would have to hit a button that was right here, and it would be like an upload button. So I would hit that, and then it would publish the model. Okay, so you do that. Then the models are going to come to BIM 360, okay? And so we'll come to BIM 360 then. Okay, so once you do that, again, it's going to change the version number of it. You could review that model just by clicking on it and opening it. You can see that there's issues that are associated with the brewery model and also the mechanical model. But if I wanted to, but what I'm going to show off today is the model coordination tool. So basically what you'd want to do is you'd want to click model coordination here. And so when it does that, basically you can see right here, here's all of the different models that are a part of it. So it broke out my piping model into hot water, cold water, sanitary, and storm. You can see for some reason I have a second model that's a piping model. I don't know what I did there, but basically those are already in there. I've got a sprinkler model and then a brewery model that has the architectural, the floor, the roof, and steel all broken out. So that would be kind of like the floor and the roof. That would be kind of like my levels broken out. And then I've got the lights has two different views of the cable tray and the lights, and then there's the mechanical. So I kind of broke it up how I would, if I were doing this in Navisworks. But you could customize this however you wanted. You could have as many or as few views in here as you want. But you can see when I last updated how many clashes are associated with each model. But what I'll do is I'll hit clash. And so when I do that, it's going to actually show me a matrix. Okay, so if I was concerned with, like maybe I didn't want to have those two extra models in here, or those three, so I can actually filter those out. And so then my matrix kind of shrinks. And so if I wanted to see how many clashes there were between the sanitary and or the storm or whatever, then I could do that. So I could say, okay, storm versus architecture, there's 3. Storm versus the floor, there's 7. Storm versus roof, there's 10. There's 2 versus sprinkler, there's 1 versus the lights, and then there's 3 versus the mechanical. So if I wanted to see one of the, or just one of these clash tests, I could click one of these little boxes right here. You can see the more bold the color gets, the more clashes there are. Okay, so I could click on the mechanical and then see the most, or I could just pick this storm one and see all of those. So that's what I'm going to do here. All right, so now it's going to load up all 11 models, and then I'm going to be able to see them all in the same space, and then I'm going to see all of the different possible clashes. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to select my roof. Okay, so if I look at that, all of those are valid, through floor penetrations, I guess we'd call. So notice when I click on those objects inside of BIM 360, it highlights them, but then it also highlights them over here on my clash tool. Okay, so you can see right now I've got 10 selected clashes that all are associated with the roof. So obviously those are just valid through all penetrations. So I'm going to mark those as not an issue. So through roof penetrations. Okay. And then I'll say the reason that this is not a clash is that it's a valid penetration. And then I'll just hit OK. And so then basically that knocks my list down significantly. Okay, so I can see there's really kind of two sort of big clashes here. There's this, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but there's this pipe over here, and then there's this pipe right here. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'll select this pipe. Then maybe I'll zoom in. So I'll start selecting everything around it. All right, so I've got 3 things selected. So basically, this pipe right here is clashing with those things, so it found all of those clashes for me. It's kind of like the filter tool if that's what you use in Navisworks, but you just do it by clicking on items in your model. And so now I can see that this storm drain is actually hitting the main here, and it's also hitting this light, and then it's hitting this duct right here as well. So I can mark this as an issue. Okay, so once I do that, notice it kind of asks me to click click a location so that a push pin will jump on. So I'll just pick it right there. Okay, so that's where my main issue is, I guess. If I were to lower it here or move it here, then that should probably affect that as well. So we'll say move. That's just what we'll say. We'll say move storm 3 feet south to miss duct and light. Okay, so I can choose who that gets assigned to, so I'll just assign it to myself. I'll choose a due date, so I'll choose the end of the month. and then I'll pick a root cause. So this is design coordination, and so I'll just say move storm drain south to miss duct work and light. Okay, so I do that, and then I hit create. Okay, so if you've ever created issues inside of BIM 360, this is not new to you. You know, you've done this before. This is old hat. This makes sense. You've probably done it 100 times before. Even if you haven't created them, if you've had to deal with issues inside of BIM 360, you know, this is nothing new to you. So basically, what I'll do here is I'll hide these. So if I click right here on my issues tab, you can see all of my issues. So you can see I've got 25 issues, all these little yellow dots everywhere. Okay, if they were at different status points, then you know, it would kind of show that. So if I click on 25, it's going to take me to it, and it's going to explain to me what it is. Okay, maybe I'm not concerned with that one. Maybe I meant to click on another one. Maybe I wanted to click on number 17. Then I could do that, and it tells me to move the storm south. I'd selected. Okay. Maybe I wanted to click on, maybe I wanted to view this one right here. And then I could see that I need to lower the lights to miss ductwork there. All right. So basically, I can review all of these at any time. So you know, that's nice. You know, I can see them. I can review them. Click on them. Whatever. But what's really kind of powerful is that, you know, you know, a lot of people are using this just as their model coordination tool. Okay. But what's nice about this workflow is that you don't have to just use BIM 360. If maybe you're not getting enough clash information from BIM 360, maybe you still need to maybe you want to break it up even further. You know, you can set up your model coordination tool there. You can still publish your models up there to BIM 360, but then you can still utilize your Navisworks workflow. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come over here to the coordination tab. Okay, I would say this is new to Navisworks 2020, but I believe this came with Navisworks 21. So I think they came out with this for Navisworks 2020 around Thanksgiving, I want to say. But basically, you set up this, you download this coordination tab, and then you come over here and you hit Open Models. Okay, and so when you do that, it's gonna ask you to find your project. So I'll come down here, I'll find my company, then I'll find my model that I'm working on, and then it's gonna find my the models. Okay, so see, this should look pretty familiar to everybody because these were the same models as before. I'm gonna actually not bring in I'll bring in the roof this time. Why not? So I'll bring in everything. Okay, so I've got my 11 models again. I'll hit open. And so now it's going to bring in those models. It's going to bring in those models here, and then you can actually start running your clash coordination. Okay, so we'll kind of wait for those to load. And so again, what's really cool about this is that we're not opening up NWC files that were based off of a Revit model. No, we're actually opening up the Revit model in Navisworks. Okay, so your team doesn't have to export anything out. They just place their models in BIM 360. Right in here, and then it finds them, and then it's going to bring them in here. So I'm kind of getting slowed down here, but I guess while I'm waiting for that, I'll kind of show off while that's loading. I'll move on to I'll come back to that in a minute. But if I needed to review all of my clashes inside of BIM 360, basically what I could do is I just need to come over here, go to my Issues tab, then hit the Manage Issues button, and then it's going to bring up this Issues tab right here. Okay, so I've actually pinned this, I guess, to the right side of my screen in Revit. But basically, when I do that, my issues show up. So you can see right here, that one issue that I created showed up. It's kind of tough to see right now, but that's because I have hidden line turned on, so I want to actually do shaded. And so when I do shaded, it kind of color codes everything so I can see all the little yellow dots. So let's see, if I were to, I'll also open up my mechanical model, and you should be able to see all of the clashes from it as well. But you can see issue 25 was that one that I just created a few minutes ago. So now I'll open up another one, and then you'll notice that a bunch of the models pop up, or a bunch of the issues are popping up for it. So now, same thing, if I wanted to click on one, then I could see the information about it right here. So then it tells me to lower the lights. That obviously doesn't apply to me. I could filter some of these issues out if I wanted to, but I could just keep going. Let's see. I'll click on this one. Let's see, what do we need to do there? It says move the duct south to miss the wall. Okay, so basically what we would need to do there is we would want to move this duct north or south to miss there's a wall apparently there. So I could move this, I guess I could move it north or south. And then I could save it and then upload it. So again, what this does is it lets me visualize my issues inside of my design program. And then I can I just click on the issue, it tells me what to do, then I move it, then I'm done. Okay, so this really allows me to speed up my design process. Okay, let's see if Navisworks is open. Okay, for some reason my sprinkler model is giving me flack. Still going. Okay. The other thing that I like about this, I think that this is better than the glue clash pinpoint, because before it would just kind of create a section and then you wouldn't see it. You can actually see all of your issues at a glance. So if there's like something that you keep having to do, you can kind of see where they are. You can see trends here. You have context as to what's happening, right? So let's see if I can if Navisworks will, there we go. So I've got all my models in here now. So I can come in here, I'll turn off the roof just so that I can see my model. This maybe so that it's looking north. And so just as before, okay, so if I click on this one, there's issue 25, which I just recently set up, that I created a few minutes ago. So I can see that in there, okay? So again, it's kind of cool. I can view all of these things, but let's say I needed to create an issue, right? So maybe, let's see, looks like there's an issue right here between the steel and this duct. So I guess what I can do is I could come in here and I could hit Manage Issues, go back right here, and then I could actually create an issue inside of Navisworks. So I found that. So we'll call this, we'll say that that's a clash. Move duct east or west to miss steel. Assign it to somebody. Give it a due date. Okay, so I hit create. So now that creates that's going to create an issue inside of BIM 360. Okay, and so I guess I failed to mention this because it took a while to load up. But basically, I could run clash against this. So maybe I wanted to do mechanical versus steel. There we go. I could run that test. I could find the clashes, group them together, And then I've already, and then again, I already found that issue. But basically, I could, if I had found that through the Clash Detective, then I could have done that. Okay, so I'll hit the pin right there. And so now what I can do here as well is I can do File Save As, and I can save this NWF up to BIM 360. Okay. And so doing that allows me, basically what it's going to do now is every time that I open up that NWF from here, it's going to call those it's going to call those models, those Revit models that were in that coordination folder. Okay, so now I can open it up, and so now I can see the models in Navisworks. I can see them, the issues on BIM 360. So I guess I'll hit refresh here. So we should see issue 26 here, I guess, with that duct and that piece of steel here in a minute once I hit refresh. So we'll come right back in here, open up our duct model. Okay, I can view my issues. Let's see if number 26 has come in. So yeah, so 26 just came in. So in real time, it's going to show up in BIM 360. It's going to, you can create it in Navisworks, or you could view it in Navisworks. And then if I were to hit refresh here, then issue 26 is going to pop up right here in Revit as well. So this is truly fully integrated. It's going to let you work however you want to, whether you're working whether you want to work in Navisworks, whether you want to work in BIM 360, or some combination of the two. You can manage your issues, your Clash issues, very seamlessly through both. Okay. So that's the main thing that I wanted to show you. I do also want to show you that there is also another option for you. So if you don't have model coordination, you can still use BIM 360 in place of glue to manage your models. Okay, so what I've got here is in the pre-construction folder, I've actually got BIM coordination files there. Okay, so here's all of my, this is your typical Navisworks workflow, right? Got your NWC files, in a folder. Everybody uploads them whenever they update them. But if I come back to this pre-construction folder, notice that I've got some NWF files and an NWD file. Okay, so if I wanted to, I could actually come over here, go to Open, and then it's going to, you'll notice that I've already actually done this, but it's like I'm opening this model from BIM 360. I'm going into the pre-construction files, and then I can actually open this model here from BIM 360. Okay, so I'll save my old one, but then basically, so essentially that opens up, that brings in that new model. So I'll get off of the selection tree. I'll get onto the selection tree. Oh, okay, shoot, it only brought in, I guess in that one, that one only has one model in it. Sorry about that. I opened the wrong one. So I'll open this one right here. Sorry about that. I opened a model that only had one model in it. Silly. There we go. Now it's going to open up everything. You can see it's bringing all the models in, not just the mechanical. And so same thing as before. Even if you don't have model coordination, you can still utilize BIM 360 to run basically a Navisworks-centric workflow. The only difference is, from using Box or Dropbox or BIM 360 Glue with Navisworks is that now you're just uploading your files to BIM 360 rather than to Glue or whatever. Okay, so I've got this in here. Notice that if I go to my selection tree, I've got all my files in here. If I go to the clash detective, it remembers the clash that I've run, so I can view the results of it. So this one was just, again, I guess that was with the ductwork. But basically, I can save that at any time, so I'll just do File, Save, and then it's going to remember whatever I did. Okay, so either way, no matter what you're going to use, whether that's just BIM 360, or I guess just the BIM 360 model coordination tool, or it's the model coordination tool with Navisworks, or it is just BIM 360 with Navisworks, you can still, you can kind of revolutionize your Navisworks workflow. Okay. Either way, the issues are all going to show up in BIM 360, in Revit, and in Navisworks. Okay, so whatever your workflow is, the data is the same no matter what platform you're looking at. Okay, so I would, if you had asked me last year at this time, hey, Michael, what do you think of the model coordination tool? Or hey, what do you think of BIM 360 and with Navisworks rather than Glue, or if you would ask me that last year, I would have said, hey, it's not ready. But if you're asking me that right now, I believe that it is ready. You could whatever you want to use, whether it's Navisworks, whether it's model coordination, whether you want to use a Revit-centric workflow or you want to use a Navis-centric workflow, you can do that. And the issues are going to be the same, and it's going to be easy for you to run coordination. Okay. Okay. So that's pretty much my presentation. I see that I've got 2 questions here. So the question number 1 from John Gurney is there a max number that you can select to ignore in one selection? Okay. So you're asking about is there a maximum amount of of models that you can choose to ignore right here? I would say you probably could only do 2 if you wanted to, but wouldn't really make sense to just ignore all of them except for 1, because then you wouldn't see any clash information. So you could ignore, let's just say, everything except for, I'll just do steel and mech, and we'll see how that looks. So that'll be a very lonely matrix here. Basically there you go. So it'll just show you that. Okay, so the max that you can ignore would be all of them except for 2. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Second question is from Matt Van Noy. He says, can you explain why you uploaded the NWF from Navis and what that had to do with the clash detective? Okay. Sure thing. All right. So, all right. So, let's go back and let's just do that. So, so if you'll remember, I created I'll open my model from BIM 360 here. Okay. So we'll come into this design folder, and when you do that, notice that I've got this. I've got that NWF file that's saved up here. Okay, so I open that, and when I open it, it's going to basically recall all of my Navisworks models. Okay, so of course this one's the one that only has 1 file in it, but no big deal. I can append more models here. And you know what? Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll start from scratch, because for whatever reason that one didn't do what it was supposed to. So I'll hit Open Models. I'll pick that project again, and so I'll just pick all of the models that I want. Maybe I won't even bring the roof in for this one. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up 2 clash tests, okay, once this loads. Okay, so I'll create 2 clash tests. Then I'm going to close this model, and then I'm going to reopen the NWF file, and it's going to 1, bring all the models back in, but 2, my clash tests should show back up. So my point there basically is just you can still run clash inside of Navisworks and set everything up through model coordination. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we'll come here. Now I'll go to my clash detective. I will add 2 tests. So we'll call this mechanical versus all, and maybe plumbing versus all. Okay, so I'll do mechanical versus everything except for mechanical. And then, oh, oops. So mechanical versus everything versus mechanical. Then for plumbing, I'll do the same thing. So if we want to just do piping, okay, so now I've got that. So let's see, I'll group all of these together. And we'll name this today's date. Just so that we know that it's new. So this is 3/25. Right, do the same thing for this one. Oh, there were no mechanical versus all. That's kind of weird. Whatever. Let's see, did I... There we go. Oops. All right. So I've got that. Now, again, I'll do file save as. I'll save this in the design coordination thing. I'll save it right there. Do file new, so we'll start blank. Then I'll hit open. And it should remember everything. Okay, so right while this one's loading, I got another question. Will model coordination in BIM 360 work the same in Autodesk Build Unified projects? So you should be able to select it in the unified projects as well. I'll be honest, I haven't set it up on a unified project, but if you select the model coordination tab inside of there, then you should be able to do it there. Okay. I would suggest doing it inside of BIM 360 though, just because I like the model viewer better in that one than I do the unified projects one. That would be what I would suggest doing it in there. And if the good thing about that is, if you buy BIM 360, you get the other thing, so you can kind of pick and choose. Okay, so let's take a look at this now. So see again, my it came through. So the whole, again, back to Matt Van Nooy's question, why did I upload an NWF from there? That's so that I can perform clash whenever I want to perform clash. Okay, and I can do it in Navisworks if that's what I want to do. That's the reason that I saved it up there. Okay, hopefully that answered your question, John. I guess any questions from anybody else before we close out? Okay, I'll give you, while I'm closing, I'll give you guys a few more minutes. But anyway, normally I go about 30 minutes when I do these, but since I did 2 workflows, we went a little bit longer. So hopefully this was helpful to everybody. Like I said, if you had asked me last year, what did I think of the model coordination functionality inside of BIM 360, I would have told you that it's not ready. But if you're asking me today, hopefully, or I think that's what you're asking me, I think that this is ready for you guys to use in practice. Test it. I would suggest you guys test this out on a project. See if you like it. You know, I really like it just because I can utilize it however I want to. I can utilize it in Navisworks. I can utilize it in BIM 360. I can utilize BIM 360 model coordination, or I can not do that. I can just go straight through BIM 360 and basically just place all my models there. It's completely up to you how you do it. And it's going to be what you see is what you get, no matter where you are. The information is going to be in there regardless of where you're looking. So that's my presentation, guys. Thanks, and have a good rest of the day.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Yeah, if you have any questions that you can't quite put into words yet, Michael, what's the best way people can reach you?
Oh yeah, you can always just reach out to us on our support page. Or you could actually email me. My name is Michael Reuter, and my email is just my first initial and my last name at ASTI.com. So M as in Michael, obviously, and then REUTER at ASTI.com. I'm more than happy to kind of show off this demo to you and your company if you want to bring it back to them. I've done that 3 or 4 times already this week, so I'm more than happy to show that off and answer any more pointed questions, more specific questions. Like I said, I used to be a BIM coordinator, so I've been through this. I've done this a lot, and yeah, that's how you can contact me.
Cool, awesome. And for John Gurney, who asks, was this recorded? Yes. Everybody who signed up to view the webinar will be receiving a recording in their inbox. So yeah, that about does it. I'll just go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you again, Michael. It was wonderful. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you spending your time with us, and we trust that it was meaningful and impactful for you and your business. We look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.